Child, I'm trying to get this right. It's been probably years since I've done a regular YouTube live. I always use StreamYard, but since StreamYard was on their BS, I was like, let me try this. Oh boy. Hmm. I'm trying to find the backgrounds here. Hello. I am trying to find the backgrounds, y'all. It's been a while since I've done a regular one. Oh boy. Hmm. If you can hear me, um, if you're not scared to drop down, let me know if you can hear me. Wow, StreamYard has really crippled my live usage. Because, child, I have not messed with this thing in a while. Thank you to whoever just liked the live. I appreciate it. I'm really bad at asking people for likes. I should do that more often. So thank you for hitting the like button without me asking. I appreciate it so much. I got to do better with that. Child, y'all gonna have to bear with me because I cannot find. I was trying to find the bubbles. I don't like how my camera looks. It's like blurry. I was trying to find the bubbles to see if I can do that instead of being on camera, but I don't know where it is, y'all. I really don't. So I'm feeling real slow right now. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna do a little bit more. In the meantime, let's chat about what's been going on. Okay. Um, I really wanted to check in because I try to be honest as much as I can. I feel like a lot of this Diddy news hits me hard. And so I want to check in to see how people are doing because it seems like every day there's a new case and it's getting worse and worse. It's getting worse and worse. I don't know why my webcam looks like this. I don't know if it's the room I'm in. Them cell phones really be working because this computer ain't it. Or maybe it's my lighting. It's a little gloomy today. Don't like it. My son, he hasn't done it in a while, but when he'd be like it. So I always find myself saying that sometimes. But yeah, these Diddy cases, I gotta be honest, it's been weighing on me. And I try to take my time to not overconsume stuff related to the Diddy case. Um, and so, but it's hard to get away from it, right? Because it's always something. There's always something going on. And yesterday, I think it was like 7 new lawsuits or something that came up. So what I've been trying to do is I try to limit how often I watch stuff and how many times I repeat the story. So like if I see a video about something that happened got released today, then I try my best to not watch multiple videos about it because I was doing that before. Oh, what is this person saying? What's this person saying? So I try not to like double up and triple up videos about the same Diddy cases, because vicarious trauma is real, y'all. Vicarious trauma is real. You could be vicariously traumatized by reading news stories, listening to news stories, listening to people's stories. Just over consuming traumatic content can affect you in ways that are seen and unseen. And so I would really encourage you to monitor how much and how fast you're taking in the stuff, because it's so overwhelming. Like it's, and I think some people are getting numb to it. Like you can kind of tell, because people are like, "Oh, there's no way this is real." I'm not saying there's not people that might be lying, but there's no way for me to tell who's lying and who's not. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a reason to think that people are lying. So unless there's evidence that shows these people are lying, I'm not going to assume just because there's a lot of numbers that they're lying. He's just a prolific essayer, period. Like that's how I feel. Like he's a prolific essayer and he's really good at what he does, and he's gotten away with it for eons. And so I think it's hard for people to wrap their minds around that. Like that people could be that awful. Yes, they can be that awful, guys. Like it's really crazy to me when I see people be like, "There's no way all of this happened." I'm like, think about it. It's been decades. This man had access to so many people, right? And it's just sickening. Then I hear other stuff like, I thought it was not true because I've never watched this guy's video. It's on my wall. I can't remember his name. I think it starts with an M, and he was saying that allegedly Jamie Foxx is accusing Diddy of um what happened with his stroke, like his health issues. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody major pick that up. I saw that Ricky Smiley is now reporting on the story. I don't know if it's true, but I did post that video to my wall. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me tell you something. Like Hollywood, the music industry, it just seems like a deep, dark place. Like I would never ever want anybody I care about to be a part of it. I wouldn't like it, man. It just seems so dark and evil. And for years they've been coming out and letting stories sneak out about not just the music industry, but I think about people like Corey Haim. I always mix up the Corys because there's Feldman and there's Haim. One of them died, one of them still alive when he was trying to sound the alarm. And when you look at some of these child actors too, even though I know this is different than the music industry, you can see it's you could just see it on them. Like these people went through a lot. It seems like Hollywood and the music industry is a cesspool of, uh I really go back and forth with saying the words but it's the beginning of the live, so I don't want to go too hard yet, because if I say too much stuff, then it automatically gets demonetized. But it's probably going to get demonetized. Most of my content that I choose to talk about, that's just what happens. I like to talk about what's actually happening. Um, so yeah, back to what I was saying about self-care as it relates to these stories. Y'all got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Nobody's going to take care of yourself for you. TMZ sure don't give a F. Okay, the mainstream media doesn't give a F. They're just going to bombard you with stories after stories, and you really have to look out and care for yourself, because I've never seen, other than Epstein and R. Kelly, like I feel like the volume of cases is like outrageous. Like and I believe there's more. I want you guys to understand that if these are people, even if there are people that are lying, let's say there's people that might not be telling the truth. This volume of stories, if this is making it to the lawyers, to the mainstream, to however you want to process it, imagine the people that aren't speaking. Let's not be naive. Like with cases like this, there's always people that aren't going to talk. Like some people are scared. Think about regular everyday life. There's no celebrity status. There's people where their perps have been successful at keeping them quiet for their entire lives. They don't have a smidget of the power and the money and the influence that Diddy has. So I believe that there's way more people that may never come forward. I also really reject the narrative when people are like, these people just want money. Why not? What's wrong with them wanting money? Not everybody just wants justice. Some people are fine with just justice. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with them as long as they're telling the truth. I don't think there's anything wrong seeking um, money, seeking damages for what they've been through. Most people don't get that. Most people don't even get their day in court, and a lot of these perps don't even get apprehended and put behind bars. So When I hear people saying stupid stuff like that, it drives me insane. What does that even mean? You got people getting money for stupid shit. Why wouldn't they get money? Why? What's wrong with that? You know, it's so crazy how easy it is for people to over identify with the perp and not even realize it. Because now you're making excuses. You're making excuses for why victims shouldn't get money. Now, that's not the way I would go about it. I would want this person to be apprehended in jail for many years. Money is nice, but it's not going to take your wounds away. It's not going to take away, what you've been through. But I think that I'm not going to judge the people who choose to pursue that route. Now, here's where I have a problem, because what I will criticize is this. I've noticed that in the recent things that have come out, especially yesterday, they're not naming the other celebrities who are being accused. Now, I think these are all Tony Busby related cases. Like, he's the one who is heading them up. And I've noticed they did not mention the other celebrities who were watching. So there is one case, very disturbing. It's about a 13-year-old victim. They're not 13 now, but they were 13 at the time of the crime. And apparently, there were two. There's three people. It was Diddy, a male celebrity, and a female celebrity. Diddy did some horrible things to the 13-year-old as well as the male victim, and then the female victim was watching, who was just as guilty and should be thrown under the jail. Now, these celebrities' names were not named. Only Diddy's name was named. I find that very interesting. Thanks for coming to the live. Please hit the like button when you get a chance. If you like it. If not, you can hit the down button too. Because y'all know honesty is the best policy. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird that they're protecting these celebrities. I think it's weird that they're only naming Diddy. Like, I guess maybe because he's the identified defendant. But don't y'all think that's strange that they're not putting the other people's names? I'm so tired of these celebrities getting protected for things they shouldn't be protected for. You got people, let me tell you something. When stuff happens, especially if you're not high up on the totem pole, okay, they're gonna put your face and they're gonna put your name, even if they don't know you're guilty or not, especially if you're a person of color. So why are these celebrities' names not getting dropped, even if they're just suspects? I think that's very strange. And I was listening to Lovely T's video today, and I watched the entire 49 minutes. And she was saying in there, I was listening to Tony Busby speak, and he said that there are, he framed it very well because lawyers are very slick. He framed it and said it's in the best interest of the clients when they can to pursue settlements, right? Instead of going to court. And it is true psychologically. Court is not a cakewalk. However, especially for these type of victims. But let's keep it a buck. He's also like, if you're reading in between the lines, he's like, yeah, we're going straight for the pocketbooks. Okay. We're going for the pocketbooks. If you want to get your name dragged through the mud, if you want your business put on Front Street, then we go to court. I can't tell the victims, the survivors, what route to take, because going to court is hard, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. Going to court is hard. Um, so I won't knock him there. But at the same time, if you're willing to put Diddy's name out there, why not put the other people's names out there? You know, I just don't think these people should be protected. This is how these type of crimes continue to get perpetuated through the years, because people choose not to say anything, and we know there's a lot of reasons why. But um, you know, these people need to be put on blast. I want to know who those celebrities are, especially that woman. Okay, who's sitting up there watching? What kind of sicko shit is that? Like, these people need to be put on blast. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for not one of them. And the way it seems is that they're so used to this. Like, when I listen to the cases, it sounds like for the people participating um willingly, let's say, the people who are, because it seems like there's people who are using substances by their own choice, and then they're other people who I believe are the victims who were drugged, right? They don't know. And I'm not even going to say celebrities because it sounds like some of the celebrities may have been victims too. Like there's different layers to it. There are people doing it willingly. So it's just very sick. I really, everybody has their own thing that they do to keep themselves together, to keep themselves calm. Like I said, for me, I just limit the overlapping of stories. So, like today, I just watched Lovely T's video about the cases that came out yesterday, and my goal is to avoid watching another video about the very same thing. Usually, I like to do that because it's nice to hear different perspectives. But because of the nature of these crimes, and because it's so overly saturated, I think it's better to just like leave some space, and not overdo it. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are gonna just be dismissive and be like, "Oh, it's not that serious. I'm fine." You think you're just getting tea, but that might be affecting you. I'm telling you, whether you have a history or not, of this type of trauma, you should be paying attention to this and how it's affecting you, how it's impacting you. Whether you're listening to it or you're reading it, those images are getting into your mind and they're affecting us. And so I just want to really encourage people to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Once again, the media is not going to take care of yourself for you. TMC is not going to take care of yourself. YouTube is not, all these algorithms, they're going to populate videos upon videos related to these cases. And also, I'm sure a lot of y'all have also been getting this if you're on YouTube. All these 90s, old 90s videos and songs and stuff, which, like, for me, is a lot of nostalgia, and I love that's like one of my favorite eras of music. And this is the first time, I'm gonna be completely honest, this is the first time that I'm faced with a dilemma of so am I gonna stop listening to music that has Diddy in it? And here's why. But I've never had to think about it twice before. R. Kelly, now I'm good. Um, you know, I had never had to think twice about it. But I think what's happening here for me is, number one, these are songs I listened to in my childhood, right? Like I remember this was like heavy music video era. Like I would get up, me and my sister, we would watch MTV Jams. We would watch there's all kinds of stuff. Like that was just when it was popping, and like all the songs, and it was a big deal, and you only had certain ways to listen to the songs, right? And then if a video dropped, it was just such a big deal. And so even now, when I watch those videos or if I listen to any of those songs, it's like a lot of nostalgia. That's one piece for me. The second piece for me is, even though he is an absolute horrible monster, I never took Diddy seriously as an artist. Like if you think about the songs, like this is gonna sound messed up. I think about Diddy as a Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin, I don't think Kirk Franklin can sing. I don't think he's the real talent. Like I think he knows how to put the talent together. And I think Kirk writes, so we'll give him that, but he's not a singer. When I would listen to Kirk Franklin songs, I wasn't buying the albums for Kirk Franklin. I wanted to hear the people he assembled to sing. And so I always thought of Diddy like that. I always thought of Diddy as like, oh, you're just like doing ad libs on the song. You can't sing, you can't rap. Like, even songs like even if he's rapping, I just never took him seriously. Like, so like even if you think about the song, More Money, More Problems with him and Mace and Biggie, after Biggie passed away. And that's probably, I would say, one of the best verses I can give Diddy. But is it because it's tied to so much emotion? Is it because it's such a hype video? When you listen to Diddy's lyrics compared to, I mean, who? When you listen to Little Kim is a beast. Little Kim is a beast. Like I cannot listen when I listen to All About the Benjamins. I listen to that song just to hear Little Kim and Biggie's verse. Period. That's it. Like the whole song is good, but I listen to that song because I want to hear Little Kim. Little Kim say, only female in my crew, and I kick shit. You like, she's crazy. Like she's nuts, and yeah, I just cannot believe how well she writes and pieces her songs together and her flow. I never felt like Diddy had that flow. I feel like Diddy is like he gives me carbon copy, right? He gives me carbon copy. Like I never took him seriously. So even though he had these shows and he would do all these things, the people that I was listening to those songs for were really Biggie or Little Kim or even Mace at some point. I know I kind of think Mace is corny now, but um so I'm having this ethical dilemma where I'm like, this is the first time I'm faced with because I talked a lot of shit about the R. Kelly people. Like, y'all still listen to R. Kelly's music? He's I talked so much shit about those people. And I was like, whoa, this is the first time I'm faced with that because I'm like, but yeah, he's on this song, but I'm not, it's not really about him. And so I'm like, right now, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to be like, because that's a whole era of music, right? There's so many songs. Even if he's just saying a couple words on there, he's involved or he's in the video or whatever. So how are they going to handle that? I'm curious to see how they're going to handle that because with R. Kelly was like his own entity. R. Kelly wasn't piggybacking off of a lot of people. Like that was one of the things that Diddy did back in the day. He just came together with mad people and did stuff, even if he wasn't the most talented in the crew. Whereas R. Kelly is a talent all on his own. He writes, he sings, he did like. I hate that I'm giving him so much props, but it is what it is. But I'm like, I'm not gonna stop listening to songs because of Diddy. Like that's where I'm at right now, and it feels hypocritical because I was like, yo, I went hard on the R. Kelly people. And I think of songs like I think I'll probably struggle with songs like No Time, right? No Time with Little Kim and Diddy because that's just Little Kim and Diddy does rap on that. But I love that song. I love that song. So I'm like, how do you separate like I think I'm realizing that nostalgia that you get from like I said, for me, 90s music is just like it's just so good. Like I don't have a word for it, but I don't think there's any music like it now either. There's just so much to it, um, because it's a part of my childhood. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Are you guys struggling with the same thing? Are you one of those people that's like, "F it, I'm gonna do what I want. Can't nobody tell me shit," or are you like, nah, I'm not listening to no songs that have Diddy producing it, that had Diddy on it. If Diddy breathed on it, none of that. And so I never thought he was, I never would have thought he was like a essayer, but I definitely he was always suspect to me because he just felt like a fraud. That was like, if I'm being honest, even like, I just never, like I said, never took him seriously. It was always the other artists. He always felt like a carbon copy to me, like you just slipped in with the cool kids. Sure, he has all this money and stuff, but he just kind of slipped in with the cool kids. um so yeah, I'm having those conflicting feelings. I try my best. I have my own trauma history, so I try to make sure I pay attention to that. Like if I'm getting triggered by stories, this is why. So y'all know, I mean, I haven't been super active on YouTube, but if you've noticed, I don't cover these type of stories. This is the first and longest video I've done. When R. Kelly's case was out, I can handle it. Like I just was like, no, I can't. Like, because I'm a very detail oriented person because I'm a Virgo, and I'm just gonna like pick these things apart, and mentally it's not gonna be helpful for me because of the nature of it. And so I can sit with clients, I can sit with other people and listen to their stories and help them process their trauma, um, and I'm fine. But I think there's something about this volume of like sexual crime, like with especially with one person, it's just very overwhelming for me. And it's just like, oh, I'm choosing to not consume this, right? I'm choosing to not overconsume this because it's just not healthy. That's for me, that's what I do. That's how I like manage things. The other stuff I'm always doing anyway to take care of myself. So just be aware, just pay attention. Because like I said, whether you think it is or not, I do hear people on here. Um, Not since I've since leaving the beef sector, I haven't heard it so much, but I've heard people make comments like, they don't get triggered, and like they're just so trauma uninformed, and they make really ridiculous comments about what doesn't trigger them and what doesn't set them off, and like whether you're getting triggered or not, these aren't topics to joke about. Like people making jokes about stuff, and I don't know. I think it's very complicated and it's complex, and I think we all have our part to play in how we handle it. I see a lot of victim shaming. Again, if it's found out that somebody lied, it's different. But y'all remember with I think her name is Thalia Graves, and I'm pretty sure Thalia Graves' story is the one that like made me put a hard e-brake on all the Diddy stuff. Because I was telling this to one of my close friends. I was telling her, I didn't even want to tell her the story because she didn't even know the story. And I was telling her, like, like, when I was listening to the Thalia Graves story, and this is why I said to be careful, because I listened to three people unpack this story. All three of the people did not read the story prior to doing their video. They just got the documents, I guess whatever court documents were released, hopped on live, and decided to unpack it with their audience. As these people are going through these details, it was very evident. First of all, it affected, like, it hit me hard, but it was very clear that these people were not ready for what was getting unpacked in the documents. Like, you can hear the frog in their throat, you can see them stop. Some of them even said, "Whoa, I didn't know it was going to get like this." You can tell that they were disturbed. Even one of the people who typically flies off the handle and says outrageous things, they were taken aback. And Sally Graves' story was just it was just so graphic. It was just so horrible, and made no, like, just wickedness for no reason. And so that was the story, because it caught me off guard, because like I said, the people doing the video weren't prepared for what they were going to read, so they had no way to warn the viewers to be like, yo, this is going to be extra graphic and da da da. They didn't give no warnings. Okay, you can, like, you're reading the chat, you can even feel it. And so I've noticed that happen with three people, and I'm like, first of all, that's mad irresponsible, because you should screen your stuff before you present it. And if you didn't screen it, you should tell people, look, I'm unpacking this with you as I get it. I don't know what's going to come out. That's number one. But again, that's just me, probably because of the work that I do, right? Number two, um, let people choose. Like, people can't choose if you're sitting up here unpacking crazy ass details with them. And so I felt like that was when I put a hard stop and I put an e-brake on listening to back Diddy stories, because it was just like I was not ready for that. I was not ready to hear what happened to this woman. And like, because usually the title would give you details. These people didn't know. They're just, some people are doing a great job covering it, and I think other people are just, I don't want to make fun of people to say clicks and views, because that's why we're here, is to get clicks and views, whether people admit it or not. But I think some people do that in an unethical way. And so you have to think about your audience, but some people don't care about their audience. So once again, they only care about the clicks and views. And so if the title is salacious and, you know, real extra, they know it's going to draw people, and they don't care if they don't have all the details. So yeah, be careful. Limit how much you read, take breaks, watch other content. I'm the type of person, I watch all kinds of stuff. I'll watch super serious things, and then I'll go ahead and, I'll be watching Solar Opposites or Rick and Morty, or, I like all kinds of weird, like, I love animated shows. I like to have different things in my life. Keep it light. Make sure you find a space for laughing and keeping it light when you can, as well, because you don't want to over traumatize yourself, because then you you can't leave your house, or you leave your house and every noise you hear, you're looking over your shoulder. Again, these are the ways things sneak in. It's kind of like when you consume too much true crime stuff. Some people just take on too much of that stuff, and then before you know it, it's a perpetrator behind every bush. Not healthy, not good. What else did I want to say before I go, because I have somebody coming in soon. um Yeah, I don't, I'm just very disgusted. I don't even have words for what I think should be done to Diddy. I really don't. But I am sick and tired, like I said,